Yo, welcome back to episode number 27 of the Ben Barker Fitness Podcast. Y'all, I wish you could see my setup for my podcast today. It is so ghetto. I wanted a microphone. I went through this whole process of trying to find an adapter to hook it up to my phone. I don't know why. I love phones. I love social media, but computers scare me. And so I want to be able to film on my phone. I'll have to post a picture of this on my story, y'all, because it is comical. Today's topic is striving to make your children believe that you are superhuman. So this is to the dads out there and moms as well. Y'all should be striving for the same thing, but I am not a mother. I am a father. So I'm speaking specifically today to the fathers out there. Strive to make your children believe that you are superhuman. Y'all, before we jump into that, if you would, please subscribe to the podcast and share this with another person, another father you think this would speak to them and encourage them. I would genuinely appreciate that. And also leave a review. Thank you so much. Today's episode is brought to you by the Neighborhood Alpha Dad. Y'all go buy a t-shirt on my website. I will put a link in the show notes, and also subscribe to a free 7-day trial of my workout program if you're trying to take those workouts to the next level. Y'all, let's just dive into it. When I was a kid, one time I remember my dad, we lived in Chicago. It was very, very cold. I remember we were literally like digging tunnels under the snow, like big enough for children to fit in, probably an adult to fit in. And it was so much fun, but I think the snow was legit like 2-3 foot deep. And I remember my dad had to go outside to do something, and he went outside in like a pair of flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt in a blizzard. And I just remember thinking like, my dad is Superman. I just remember him doing like tough things growing up. I remember him playing pickup basketball and catching like an elbow to the eye and just like gushing blood everywhere and just not even flinching. The dude was tough. And having someone to look up to as a young boy is huge. And I think when it's your father, it takes it up a step further. And like, sure, when you get into adulthood, you realize your dad wasn't maybe Superman, but he at least tried to be. And I think there's a lot of merit in that. So last week, or even just a few days ago, I posted about 10 feats of physical capabilities that I thought all dads should strive for. And I caught a lot of flack, both good and bad, guys messing with me and stuff like that. But it was essentially, men should be able to do 5+ strict pull-ups, 20 plus strict push-ups. And the reason those numbers aren't very high is because if you look at lots of guys like, oh yeah, I can do 20 pull-ups, and they do like half reps and they don't get their chin all the way over the bar. I'm talking beautiful, clean, strict reps. I put that you should be able to sprint 100 meters without pulling a hamstring, that you should be able to carry your wife over the threshold, shoulder press your body weight, bench press 1.5 times your body weight, squat 2 times your body weight, deadlift 2.5 times your body weight, broad jump at least your height in inches. So if you're I'm 5'9", that's 69 inches. So I should be able to broad jump at least 69 inches. I'm going to go back and edit that one. And I'm going to try to find it's probably like your height plus 12 inches. So I'm going to tinker with the numbers a little bit. One of the goals was to be able to run 5K in under 30 minutes. I caught a lot of flack on that one because it's not really on par with the lifting numbers, and I'm definitely strength biased. But there's a lesson in there. Running with just your body weight, y'all, it's not that hard. Lifting heavy things or carrying a person, that is difficult. Or sprinting to get to your kids. Being able to jog for 20 minutes is great. It's great for your heart health, but it's really not that practical. Strength, carrying your wife, carrying your children, being able to handle your own body weight, that is very practical with real world implications. Also, hand-to-hand combat. That is something that I left off the list. That was a mistake. I caught a lot of flack from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, and they're right. Like, a dad should be able to handle himself. Like, one, I talk about lifting weights and stuff because I feel like if a man is physically imposing, people tend to leave you alone. People want to go for weak targets. And I know some of my thinking may be flawed. And also, when you're super fit and strong, it gives you an air of confidence. And y'all, I'm just telling you, people go for weak targets. If you look people in the eye, your posture is great, and you look like you could do harm, people tend to leave you alone. So y'all, on top of all of the physical benefits that come from strength and fitness, come the mental benefits as well. Being physically fit is one of the best things you can do for your mental health. I think sometimes, like going to the gym, we listen to music and things like that. I think sometimes going without music and just exercising so we can be alone with our thoughts. That's when I do some of my best thinking. I know it sounds kind of crazy and boring, but I'm telling you, sometimes get alone in there with your thoughts, and it's great for your mental health. And then on top of that, the physical benefits that are just numerous. And I think there's a lot to say when you're married and you're trying to do and be your best for your spouse. And it's not all just the physical stuff. Like, I talk a lot about being our best in our fitness, our finances, our faith, our family, and freedom, which comes along with all of those things. And so this isn't the end all be all. Like, you can be very physically fit and still be a terrible father. And if you're fit and you're a terrible dad and a terrible husband, being fit doesn't matter. So I just had to throw that disclaimer out there. But I do believe as men, when we're trying to be our best physically, I think that bleeds into the rest of our family as well. If I show my children that it's important, that's going to bleed down to them as well. And I think it makes fitness less of a chore and more of just a part of life. Like, I work out 5 days a week, just like I brush my teeth 7 days a week, twice a day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just a thing that we do. So just like your kids see you go to work, they see you treat your spouse well, help with chores, check your bank account, all that things. They should see you working out. It's just a normal daily activity that we do, and it's just part of life. And I think that makes it less of a chore. It's like, oh, I have to work out. It's like, I get to work out. I have a body that God has blessed me with that I get to use daily, and that is just a huge blessing. And then you get all the mental health benefits that come with that as well. And I'm just telling you, people give me a hard time about like those numbers that I put up, like, Ben, those are unrealistic. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Set realistic goals and be normal? Like, what is that teaching my kids? And so with that being said, everybody's blessed with a different set of skills. Like, so for instance, on those 10 physical capabilities that I think all men should have, you'll notice I did not put swimming because I would fall very short in the swimming category. And so I think it's kind of like, if you think about CrossFit, which I'm not a CrossFit guy anymore, I do love the sport, but they talk about being a jack of all trade, and they also almost have to be a master of all of them. But it's like, we should be physically capable in every realm. And like, so like me, for instance, had I put like a swimming goal on there that was on par with my lifting goals, I would fall short in that area. I honestly fall short in the hand-to-hand combat as well. I know I can hold my own, but if I got in there with somebody who is just incredibly well-versed, I probably wouldn't fare very well right now. I'd give it the old college try, and your boy's not a quitter. So I go hard in the paint. But with that being said, there's a certain level of skill that I lack. So with that being said, maybe you are not just incredibly blessed in the strength department, but if you put in the work, you can reach your genetic potential. And I think all of us are probably falling very, very short in our genetic potential in a lot of different areas. And so I put those numbers out there, like, not to discourage people. Like, if you don't have a 2.5 times your body weight deadlift, it's not a big deal. You just work on getting as strong as you possibly can according to your physically capabilities and what God has given you. And if you reach and are pushing the boundaries of what you're physically capable of in whatever aspect it is, like in cardio, in finances, in strength, in swimming, all of those things, I feel like if you are pushing the boundaries, I think that's what counts, and that's what makes you an alpha dad, and that's what is going to show your kids that you are superhuman. So y'all, in every capacity that you can, and I realize a lot of guys are like, well, I don't have time to reach those type of goals. Use what you have and where you are now to get as good as you possibly can. Like, I'm doing really well in the fitness department, not because I just spend hours and hours a day. I honestly work out for about 75 minutes a day. But during those 75 minutes, I am going hard in the paint. And if you're doing your 60 to 75 minutes a day and crushing your workouts, that bleeds over into the other things that you don't have time to spend on. So like for me right now, I work out quick. I keep my heart rate elevated. My cardio is probably lacking a little bit right now, but my strength and the conditioning work that I do in my workouts by taking a little rest in between sets bleeds over into cardio. So like right now, I guarantee I could strap my shoes on right now, get a drink of water, and I could go out and run a half marathon. Sure, it wouldn't be a competitive time, but I guarantee I could jog 13 miles without stopping. And sure, a lot of you are like, no, you couldn't, Ben. I've done it. Okay, I did it in Vancouver a few years ago with no training. I actually ran a pretty solid time. So if you're pushing yourself in fitness, you're eating the right things, you're treating your body right, that's going to bleed into other areas of fitness, y'all. It's going to show your kids to push themselves, to do their best, and to chase excellence in everything that they do. And I think that does bleed over into finances, into faith, into our family, that we're striving for greatness in all of those areas. And we will talk in other episodes about chasing greatness in your family, in your finances, in your faith, in your freedom. And those are things I want to discuss as well. And I'm pretty excited about next week. I'm hopefully having a guy on who's a former professional hockey player for my favorite team, and I'm pumped to jump into that with another guy who is an alpha dad. Y'all, we are going to chase excellence in every category that we can. Sure, we're going to fall short in some areas, and those are the areas where we may need to pick up a mentor, or just even if it's on social media and following somebody that inspires us to improve in that area, figuring out where we fall short, shore those areas up, and teach our kids that we as fathers are superhuman. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm looking forward to having another guest next week. I can't wait to tell you more about that. Y'all, if you need some help with your workouts, check out a free 7-day trial to my daily workout program. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, share it with a friend. Y'all, let's crush some goals and encourage some people along the way. Thanks for listening.